Widespread scientific consensus tells us that the world's climate is changing. These changes are creating new risks in communities across the world. Extreme weather, unhealthy air quality, and disease outbreaks are becoming more frequent and more severe, affecting more people in more places. The Earth is facing detrimental effect of climate change, or also referred to as global warming. Well, what exactly is climate change? Climate change is defined as a long-term change in the Earth's overall temperature with massive and permanent ramifications. Climate scientists believe that this is caused naturally by the Earth and by the human activity. Earth's atmosphere consists of gases such as oxygen, nitrogen, and other gases known as greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, and methane. Incoming light from the sun hits the Earth's surface. The Earth absorbs some of that energy, heating the surface of the planet. The rest of the energy gets reflected. Some of that energy goes back onto space, but greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide trap the energy and send the ray back on the Earth's surface, which makes the heating up even more. This is known as the greenhouse effect. Now, a little greenhouse effect is a good thing to have, but a large greenhouse effect can be catastrophic, causing a lot of that energy to stay in the atmosphere to heat up the Earth in an accelerating rate. Some of the main human activity that emits greenhouse gases are fossil fuel burning, animals agriculture, and deforestation, and waste and recycle pollution. Burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and natural gas as well as gasoline are some of the largest pollutants of carbon emissions. Scientists are highly confident that warming has been caused by greenhouse gases that humans have been pumping into the atmosphere. The warming has massive consequences. One example in the North is Atlantic fish, zooplankton, and seabirds and other species are moving towards the poles to escape the heat. And then, in the Mediterranean, some species have died en masse while newborn water species have invaded. How does it affect people? Well, 90% of people who work in fisheries come from the world's poor countries and move have jobs if fish move or disappear. No fish also means no food, especially from places like Central and Western Africa and other places in the world which rely on the sea for food security. And not just sea life is affected. Animals and plants in different places in the world have recently moved an average of 17 kilometers towards the poles and 11 meters up in altitude to escape the heat. But moving isn't an option for coral reefs. Coral reefs around the world are bleaching and dying in increasing numbers. Coral reefs are homes to more than 4,000 species of fish. The irreversible loss of reefs will impact 500 million of people who rely on reef ecosystems on $5 billion a year. Animals and plants are both struggling to adopt this condition for survival. If even one species goes extinct, it creates a domino effect on the food chain. No living plants or animals means no living humans. Climate change also causes more frequent and intense disasters such as hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, heat waves, and droughts. But the question is, how do we stop this? Instead of burning fossil fuels, we need to convert to renewable energy such as solar and wind power, which emit zero carbon emissions when operating. Energy from the sun and wind are infinite, unlike fossil fuels that we will never run out of them. More solar energy falls on the earth in 1 hour than all the energy that is civilization consume in 1 year. Civil engineers from the Solutions Project calculated that we can power most of the world with only renewable energy if we just actually decide to do it. If we cut back on deforestation, not only does it reduce the amount of fossil fuels burned, but there will be more plants and forests actively absorbing carbon dioxide. If we use more reusable and renewable resources, this will reduce the amount of energy needed to create new products. This will also reduce the mass amount of landfill dumping that we do. You can drive an electric or fuel-efficient car. Replacing your regular car with a Toyota Prius, the average person can prevent the emission of about 1 ton of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Now, we all can't afford to just buy new or different cars, so to help, you can walk or bike places, take public transportation, or if anything, ease off the accelerator and make your car as efficient as possible. Use energy-efficient light bulbs. LED light bulbs use only a fraction of the power of incandescent light bulbs. Air dryer cloths instead of power drying machine like dryers. Turn off electronics or lights when you are not using them. Eat less meat or no meat at all. By replacing an omnivore's diet with a vegan diet, the average person can prevent an emission of about 1.5 tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. Reduce, reuse, recycle, and of course, spread your knowledge in concerns with climate change. Remember, climate change is very real and it is drastically affecting planet Earth, our home. And although we are the problem, we can also be the solution.